I want to be open and real. I sit here, look at this face, breaking out. I sit here and, you know, and I think about life and stuff. And I am happy with my personality. I love my personality and who I am. But you can tell that I am a bigger person, and I'm the heaviest I have ever been through my whole life. I am someone who enjoys hiking, going to the gym, but life has been hard. And I'm not saying it's been like not everyone's life isn't hard. I'm not saying that or complicated. I'm not saying that. Just I'm speaking for me. And some people will look at me and think, okay, well, she overeats, or she doesn't care about herself. Well, that's not the case. I do care. I grew up in a family that, say the least, financially wasn't there, was poor. Didn't teach us the right things. So, learning about healthy eating wasn't there. But it's not to say my biggest thing is all my life I just never ate enough. I would go without food. I would, even when I was growing up, a lot of times I didn't eat. We didn't have the food, or I just didn't eat. So, and every time I see a doctor to try to help it, that is something they keep coming into because they want food journals and they ask what my eating habits are. And the biggest thing is I don't eat like we should, our 3 meals and snacks or whatever. 99% of the time, I was only eating 1 meal. And so then I would be hungry all night trying to eat because I'm trying to make up for what I lost all day. And if I did eat during the day at lunch or whatever, then it wouldn't be as bad. So I started working on eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner and having some snacks if I can. Yes, work was, trying to find the balance and trying to find what was easy to have at work, because sometimes work just wasn't there, right? Like, even though we were scheduled to have time off, it just didn't happen in our field at times. Other times we could have been better at it as staff and just go for our breaks. It's simple as that. And sometimes we just had our breaks in the office and we should have not done that. But whatever worked for us, whatever. It is what it is, right? But now I ended up off the work site a couple years ago due to a work injury. Still dealing with that, and that will always be like it was my knee, and it will always be an issue now. The problem is I wasn't expecting it to be such an impact still, where it affects my daily living. So because I wasn't as active because of my knee, I packed on weight. Simple. Everyone would if you're not active because you're. So then I started, because it's been a couple years, and I was like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. We've done the best. I still do what physio has asked of me, and I'm still hitting a wall. And so I was like, okay, let's just let's just get back into life. Let's start getting the weight off, because all the doctors were saying, like, anyone I saw for this knee was like, one of what will help is lose the weight. Well, okay, I agree. It's not why my knee injury happened, but it's not helping it. So I agree. It's not that I don't agree, but how do you lose weight? How do you go to the gym, which I've had done, and you get set back each and every time? Because, prime example, I went to the gym for January in part of February. I had weight, I was doing the machines a little bit, not heavy weights. I was doing walking, nothing major. My knee flared up, and during the whole time I was in there, I was having pain. But it flared up so bad that I couldn't walk. So I had to rest. And I was giving myself rest days. I wasn't going 7 days a week to the gym or 5 days. No, I was only going 3. 3 days. And I wasn't doing hours. 40 minutes, if that. And I wasn't lifting weights. I was sitting to do things. So it took the pressure off the knee, right? So I'm not adding any extra pressure. And I still had to take myself out. So then take yourself out and you rest. Right? Okay, great. But it took over a week for me to get back on my feet to try again. And then I started again and cut back on things, thinking, okay, well, maybe this is what irritated it. Nope. Then I was back off again and faster. So I ended up taking 2 weeks off. And do you see the pattern? Because I had to keep taking time off because of my knee. Then months go, weeks to a month. I haven't been in the gym since February because of my knee. And everyone will say, well, that's an excuse, like, just push through it. I do push through it. I push through it every day. I have pain every day. But when you wake up and you can't weight bear, you can't push through it, right? So, and that's where I was at. And so then, just as I got my injured knee to where I can push through it, like it's normal daily routine, my good knee is now hurting. And I went and saw the doctor because a week of that, and nothing got better. And I rested, didn't do much, just get up, go to the bathroom. I really worked hard to do nothing to see if it could get better. And so now we're just waiting for some to get a test, x-ray done just to make sure. But it's so frustrating because, everyone looks at me and says, well, just go lose weight. Well, it's not as easy. And then, certain people say, well, then take the LP1 drugs. They're out there. Right, they are. But they're not covered. They are not covered. And I think it's a shame. I think that if you are at a certain point of weight, like people are, and your doctor's with you, and your doctor agrees that maybe this is the step to help you to get some off so you can move, like these circumstances where doctors need you to, because it helps you, it should be covered. I did go on it for a little bit, but over $300 a month I was paying. I couldn't afford that. Not when I'm a single person and everything keeps going up, like $300, over $300 for a month for weight loss. I could not afford that. You know, like, I understand Ozempic was for diabetics and it's covered if you're diabetic, and I respect that and I get that. But there's other shots, other medication out there now for weight loss. And why isn't it covered for certain people? Weight loss surgery's covered. And I've looked at that, but there's a waiting list to even see a doctor, to see the doctor that will do that. There's a waiting list just for that. And then when you get in and you follow all the steps, you still got a waiting list. I haven't even been able to see the doctor for that. I've been referred, but haven't gotten a call. And honestly, do I need that step? I'm usually pretty I'm pretty good at being, but I need, and there's the other thing is, like, when you're at this stage in your life, it's really hard to get motivated when everyone's not motivating you. I'm really good at doing things on my own because I have for a long time and stuff, and I'm good when I get started. And yes, I'm human. I will have my ups and days. I'll go really strong and then I'll have a day or so. But I will say, this is my first time where I'm really at my frustration and level where I just don't know what to do. Because I can't physically do much. Walking is just, simple walking puts me out. What do you do with that? I have tried wrapping it. That makes it worse. So, yes, calorie deficit. Yes, stay away from the sugars as best as you can. I am human, and this is what it is. I have tried many diets. Diets are not the key, people. Seriously, you can lose a lot of weight on a diet, but the minute you stop, you gain weight. And diets are not sustainable. So what's sustainable is looking at your calories and staying within those, or being in a deficit to help you lose weight. That's sustainable. And journal writing keeps you accountable. Trying to find these apps to help you, but they're pricey. Wow, just to keep track of your calories. Pricey, some of them. Holy. It's cheaper to get pen and paper and write it yourself, but it's time consuming, and that can be overloading too. So changing your eating habits are the key, but the other key is exercise. And so I've worked hard changing my eating habits, but my body needs me to lose weight. I need to move. Well, how do you move when you're in this much pain and your body says no? Like, I just don't know what to do. So yeah, it's just me just saying this, not to get help or anything. I'm just saying it. It just sucks that there's so much waiting lists for doctors to help you lose weight, or I don't have money to go and spend, because if I did, I would have had things done. This is the thing. Either you have the money to get everything and there's no waiting list, or you have no money but you have to wait. And you don't get everything. Like I said, if I had the money, the weight loss medication would be there for me. Or I could go for surgery, no problem, because I can pay and go travel somewhere. But because I'm in Canada or BCE, there's waiting lists. Nothing. It's not covered, some of these medications, nor do I have that kind of money to fork out. Because I'm sorry. As much as some people will think, well, your health is important. It is. But so is having a roof and food is important. So, weight loss medication, it does not over-trump a roof and food. What's the point of taking weight loss medication if you don't have a roof or food? Like, come on, people. So, yeah. Well, thanks for listening.